I don't know if you guys could even hear that or not. For you guys just starting out, I've actually got 2 bars of signal right now. Nope,
Yeah,
it went back to 0.
I didn't hear any music.
Turns out I don't know what I'm doing.
But for those of you watching, it was really eerie.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can. Can you hear it now? Maybe it's because we weren't actually pulled up into the studio. I don't know.
Yeah, but David does it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. All right, that's enough of
he's
that.
special.
Tonight's episode, if you haven't guessed or if you're just now tuning in, is on conspiracies. This is Special Dummies Unit special 1 year anniversary. No, this is the 2nd year of our own thing. David and Tab are on their anniversary vacation. Here, if you don't remember, just to get you up to speed, we did the flat Earth debate. I was for, Roland was against, and I think that went really, really well.
Yeah, so this episode, we totally flipped the script. We both are very into conspiracy theories, and there actually probably won't be any debating at all in this. I'm hoping we're both going to learn some different conspiracy theories from each other that we didn't know.
Yeah, and if you're following along, jump on the Googs machine, comment in the comment section. If you comment on my video, on my stream, on my Facebook page, I'm probably not going to see it. What I'll do is I'll leave it up and running here on my phone, and if I see a comment, I will voice it here for all of us to see.
Hey, we started off with 3 viewers, and they dropped really quick.
On my stream, on my Facebook page, I'm probably not going to see it. Wow, is that what my voice sounds like? God.
It's hot, Bruce. Oh, boy.
So, as usual, as a hot mess. I am coming to you from an undisclosed location because the stuff that we are going to discuss tonight is of sensitive nature, and I don't want to be tracked by the government.
I'm really horrible at winking.
That's all right.
All right, man. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
So
you have 30 of them. So
it was mostly just filler. I was just trying to find a bunch. I'm sure a lot of ours cross over. So let's just jump off into the deep end. The conspiracy theory that the surrounding JFK's assassination. Theory goes that there was either a single shooter in Lee Harvey Oswald. There was someone on the grassy knoll. The most recent one that I've seen, the driver actually did it. All of these pretty much span from a biographer named Philip Sheenan, who claims that even Bobby Kennedy thought the CIA was responsible for his brother's death at first. There was a lot of stuff going on in the country at this time. The Cuban Missile Crisis was happening in full swing. There was some contention between a certain country and nuclear arms. not a lot of details along that lines, but there was a couple of different videos and the magic bullet theory, and I just thought that was a really juicy conspiracy that that was put forward. It's very very robust. There's a lot of different facets.
But with that, there had to be, with all of it, there has to be some sort of truth. Like something out of that has to be partially truth.
Right, Sam. I understand that, and I'm not saying that this is a conspiracy that I fully buy into, but I'm just kind of given some just kind of given some perspectives of the different facets of this conspiracy. Hey, look, there's my son Colin.
Yeah, but of course they just released the documents, but so much of it is still blacked out that you can't. It doesn't do any good.
Right. Point but to add, I'm not saying that this is exactly. Go ahead.
The only thing I can add, and it wasn't even a conspiracy theory. The only thing that he had against him is if people didn't know is that JFK actually hurt his back when he was in the Navy, and when he went out in public, he never wore his back brace ever because he didn't want to show weakness. But he was in the car, and his wife's like, you can wear it, nobody can see. So when he got shot the first time, he fell over, and his back brace pulled him back up for that second shot. If he didn't have that on, he would have probably lived after the first shot.
Yeah, so Sam, I've never been there to actually see the things. I've watched several videos and several different documentaries that tried to explain it. You know, I've seen the Zapruder film like everybody else has, or the I don't even know how to pronounce that dude's name. And then, of course, you watch all the television shows that use that as a kind of a backdrop to their story, and you know, a lot of people may feed into that and say, you know, oh well, you know, not thinking that hey, that was just a movie. There was a Stephen King short film or a short story that they turned into a film. It had James Franco in it. I can't remember the dang name of it right now to save my life. But yeah, you know, and you see something like that, and you're like, okay, well, what's this all about? 11/22/63 is the name of the movie. He goes back in time to try to stop Lee Harvey Oswald, and it's a pretty good movie. If you hadn't seen it, you should go give it a shot. Yeah, Sam. Man, you're right on the money.
All right, so I got one. Everybody knows, obviously, who the Illuminati is. So there's this guy. He was a film director, and his name was Kubrick. And he made multiple movies, and they said that he would leave hints in each movie about leading to the Illuminati. His last movie he made was called Eyes Wide Shut.
Dude, that is a crazy movie.
And that movie was supposed to be full force about the Illuminati. He died right after that movie was released.
Oh, wow. Mysteriously, maybe?
Hey, they say you spilled the beans.
Well, that is true. You know, and back in I want to say back in the 70s or 80s, like the CIA had to address Congress. They had like a heart attack gun that like it shot you with this. It was like an air gun, but it shot you with this this chemical that made your body react like it was having a heart attack, almost untraceable, or nigh untraceable. Who knows? Dude, that Eyes Wide Shut movie, if it even had one clue, dude, the whole movie was from start to finish was a clue.
That's what they said it was. Like he just eventually was just like, you know what? I'm throwing it out there. Here's all about the Illuminati. Right. Boom.
You know, Sam, I love that you're commenting here. So yeah, you know, I heard he was notoriously a dick to Shelley Duvall on The Shining. Speaking of that, that leads me into my next conspiracy, that the moon landing was fake. So the flag moving in the wind, no stars in the sky whatsoever. These are all different things that point to the moon landing being a fake. There was misaligned shadows and different things like that. But if you look at where the country was back in 1969, it was the space race. Every country that had rockets and could go into outer space or go into space in general, leave our atmosphere, their main goal was to plant a flag on the moon. So, you know, the conspiracy theory is that they got with Stanley Kubrick, who had just made 2001: A Space Odyssey, which at that time, through special effects, was the only legitimate looking, at least, travel in space. Everything else looked like, you know, a stick figure drawing compared to it. So the theory goes is they contacted him. He directed the whole moon landing. They did it in a soundstage, fake moon rocks, fake everything. There was no stars in the sky because it was a black backdrop. The misaligned shadows was because of all the studio lights. And if you watch the movie Shining, it's interesting how, like Roland said, all these you know, interesting little snippets of secrets are interlaced with his movies. So in the movie The Shining, you know, there's all kinds of different little Easter eggs and stuff that point to the moon landing being a hoax. So yeah, that's another interesting take on the moon landing being fake. And this is one that I kind of sort of agree with, and I'll explain here in a second. But to have all these astronauts that have done the single most greatest thing in the entire history of human existence, leaving Earth's atmosphere and stepping foot on an alien planet, because the moon is not a terrestrial planet. So if you're leaving Earth's atmosphere, which in 2020, NASA actually came out and said that the moon was still in Earth's atmosphere. The atmosphere just stretches out that far. So if you're an astronaut that has done this phenomenal feat of human ingenuity, and not necessarily by yourself, because like many people was part of the NASA program and the space program, but to not put your hand on a Bible and swear to God that you stepped foot on the moon, it kind of feeds into the conspiracy that maybe you didn't go to the moon. Because I'm telling you what, if I went to the moon, You wouldn't hear me. It would be less than 5 minutes in every single conversation that I spoke. Hey, the moon feels weird on my feet. You know what I'm saying? Or the moon looked scary as hell. I was by myself up there, and I would talk about it constantly. But and it may be because Buzz Aldrin's getting older, but in some of these interviews that are coming up that have came out over the past several years, he claims that it never happened. So I don't know if he's just getting older.
Right, but at what point? And I let's go. I 100% believe that it was fake. It was such an important
Right.
feat for whatever country got there first. Like it kind of revolutionized the power swing.
Right.
Time.
I mean, it was the space race. Whatever country made it there first basically could lay claim to the next hundred years of space travel. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because even after that, like our technology and everything flourished to where everybody else was kind of like,
Right. And nothing against Russia or anything, but if you put American products next to their same Russian counterparts, you can tell a difference in quality, in craftsmanship, and not, like I said, nothing against Russia, even though there's a bunch of craziness going on right now. It's one of those things where it's like the space race, man, it made America.
and about the Buzz Aldrin thing, I mean, listen, let's say it was real, but you can only take so much to where you're like, yeah, I mean, you hear like when somebody's in an interrogation room for 8 hours and they're just drilling you over the same thing, and you're just like, yeah,
Right.
I get it,
Fine,
fuck it,
fine,
there,
I did it. I did it. I just want to go home.
right.
No, I 100% get that, and that's why I'm saying, like, that could lead into like these videos, these gotcha moments that these people do, where like, swear on the Bible that you went to the moon. Like, bro, get out of my face with that, But even then, it could be cleared up with a simple just putting your hand on the Bible. And I'm not saying that everybody has to be a Christian. If you don't believe in Christianity, or you don't believe in the God of the Bible, then what does it hurt to put your hand on a Bible? It's like putting your hand on a dictionary and saying, I swear to the letter W that I did it.
Facts.
But it would squash a lot of people saying, oh, well, I guess we did, I guess we did go to the moon. If Buzz Aldrin is willing to put his hand on a Bible and swear to God that he went to space, I guess we did. I know for me, at least, that would be one thing that I would be like, okay, well, maybe my theory, and maybe me co-signing to this theory of the hoax.
But would it really change your mind?
Well, I'm not saying that it would 100%, but I mean, it would definitely make me rethink it. You know what I'm saying? Like that'd be like I don't know what it would be like. Maybe a picture of the Bible. Hey, Fred, what's going on, man? Fred commented on my post and said, "What's up, crazy brothers?"
What's up, Fred?
But I mean, to me, it would. Besides having, well, look, it's like I said with the flat Earth theory a year ago. I don't 100% know, and if I had solid proof, like if I was in a spaceship and I actually went into space and I saw the Earth, like something tangible, something physical, then I would have to be like, hey guys, I was 100% wrong.
All right. Next one?
Yeah, what you got?
All right. So, you know who Jack the Ripper is, right?
Yes.
Do you? Do you really know?
Now, before you get into it, They actually came out and said through DNA testing they found him like at the beginning of the year, earlier a
Well,
couple of months ago. I don't know.
here who's who they thought was Jack the Ripper. So Lewis Carroll was accused of being Jack the Ripper. If you wonder
Lewis
who that
Carroll.
that was the guy of the author of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, yeah.
So they say, based off of his Alice in Wonderland, is that throughout the book he left hints that he was Jack the Ripper. The guy who accused him, his name was where's that? Hold on, I have it written down here somewhere. Ah, shoot, I don't know where it is. But anyways, so Lewis Carroll went to East Saxon for a vacation. And when he went there, 4 people were killed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He said that he could take his writings from, example, the Jabberwocky. And you know how they do like decoding? He actually could match up letters from Jack the Ripper and make the Jabberwocky.
Wow. That's pretty interesting.
Obviously, it's all we don't know. Like who did they say did it? They had like 4 different people that they were looking at.
Well, okay. All right, so this was breaking as of February 15th, 2025, or March 15th, 2025. So they're saying that DNA evidence, specifically from a shawl found at a murder scene, has been used to suggest that Aaron Kosminski was Jack the Ripper. However, this claim has been met with significant skepticism from the scientific and historical communities due to methodological concerns and the limitation of mitochondrial DNA analysis.
So there just wasn't enough to prove that, without a shadow of a doubt, that he.
No, not without a shadow of a doubt. No.
So it could still be Lewis Carroll.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it definitely could be. They said that the shawl was found next to the mutilated body of Catherine Eddowes, the killer's 4th victim, in 1888. The shawl is speckled with what is claimed to be blood and semen. The later believed to be from a killer. It's the first time Kosminski has been linked to the crimes, but it isn't the first time that Kosminski has been linked to the crimes, but it is the first time the supporting DNA evidence has been published in a peer-reviewed journal. So basically, the process of determining who the killer is like, say I was murdered and I came in contact with 5 different people. I don't know why I'm explaining this, but this is how I figured it out, or how I am processing it. So if 5 different people came in contact with me, they would go through the physical evidence that was on my body or around my person, and then they would bounce it off the list of those 5 people. And if one of those 5 people checked all the boxes, didn't have an alibi, DNA on my body, crime scene anywhere, an eyewitness or somebody that said that they thought that they saw him covered in blood or whatnot, he would be the number 1 suspect. They would have 5 suspects, but he would be the one that they would focus on the most. So this Kosminski guy, he was one of the suspects after the murder stopped, but at the time there was no evidence, and I guess his alibi checked out. But he was through DNA evidence linked to the shawl. So that kind of was like, well, I guess he did it. These two people, they did a reproduction and sperm expert at the University of Leeds in the United Kingdom claim is the most systematic and most advanced genetic analysis to date regarding the Jack the Ripper murders. They describe extracting and amplifying the DNA from the shawl. The test compared fragments of mitochondrial DNA, the portion of DNA inherited only from one's mother. So it was retrieved from the shawl with samples taken from living descendants of Eddowes and Kosminski. So they went to these people's descendants that were still alive today, and they got DNA evidence from them. Figured out that Eddowes, it was her blood on the shawl, and the semen was Kosminski. So, but I mean, even then, back in the day, back then when the Jack the Ripper stuff was happening, streetwalkers, I mean, most of these girls were prostitutes, and so it wasn't uncommon for a gentleman to come calling, so to speak. So I mean, the semen could have been, it could have been, it could have been old, it could have been he could have been Jack the Ripper. You know what I'm saying? There's no way to determine when exactly the his DNA came in contact with that shawl. It could have that shawl, which is like a scarf thing, it could have been used to clean up. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's not 100%. So I mean, yeah, Lewis Carroll. I mean, it's crazy that his books line up with murders and stuff, and his visiting different places line up with. Actually, I think I heard something about that. I think I heard that like when he left England to come to America, that was when the murders stopped.
Yes.
So that's crazy. And like, I guess he went on tour or whatnot, and when they went to America, the Jack the Ripper murders stopped in England.
Do, 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 do.
I'm froze.
Yeah,
Can
you're
you hear me
frozen.
still?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, it had to get me in the most unflattering frozen bit.
I am sure there's way less flattering.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's probably much worse. All right, let's dude, that is wild. Has there been any more comments? Yeah, same here, dude. I love that movie with Keanu Reeves. From Hell, that was a classic. All right, let's jump on into the Titanic.
Oh, this was actually one of my biggest ones.
Well, I've got there. This is a two-parter.
Which one are you doing?
Uh, that it didn't actually sink.
So are you going to go with the sister ship?
Yes, the Olympic.
The Olympic. Yeah. Oh, we can bounce off each other on this one.
Awesome. Well, okay, so maybe there's a third aspect to this. Obviously, we know that a ship did sink. There were survivors. Steven Spielberg went down in a submarine and found it. Then they made a movie. So obviously, a ship did sink. It just so happens that I don't think the hull was intact enough to have the name on it. I don't recall ever seeing a picture of the side saying that yes, this was the Titanic.
Right,
But
and they said the Titanic was the only one that had its thing
was it
riveted
this?
on.
Yeah, yeah. This theory basically posits that um, the Titanic had a sister ship called the Olympic, um, and this ship was almost. This ship was almost identical, like almost twin sister to the Titanic.
Yeah, and they
Uh,
said everything that was in it, like, was exactly the same, like cosmetic
almost down
wise.
to yeah, almost down to the light switch. Everything like unless you knew you were getting on the Titanic, you wouldn't be able to differentiate from the Olympic.
Right, and that was one of the arguments was like people were like, "Oh, the Titanic was so much different than the Olympics," but none of those people have been on the boats. Like, so how would they have known?
Right, right. You know, even the plans that have been public for years, they look almost identical. Unless you 100% know or you drew those plans or you're a boat expert, you might not even be able to ever tell the difference. But yeah, so what the conspiracy theory posits is that the maiden voyage of the Titanic was actually the Olympic in its place, and when uh, the ship struck the iceberg, which I will say this, they did say that there was a fire burning in the hull for about a week before they got to the iceberg. That being said, like it would make the hull, the structure of the strength of the hull very diminished. So an iceberg, you know, could move right through it like a hot knife through butter.
So, but also I heard on one of the theories is that when the Olympic was actually out on a previous um, test run and hit another boat
Oh wow!
in the same exact area to where it hit the iceberg.
The
And
Olympic.
so so when they got it back in, it it couldn't be repaired. So they swapped it as the Titanic so it could set sail without any worries.
Right, right. I got you.
And unfortunately, when it hit the iceberg, that area was already weak and then just crippled the boat.
Yeah, yeah. Took on too much water because I actually saw a documentary several years ago that pretty much said that like uh, you know cruise ships like that hit icebergs all the time, and their hull is so strong that it does little to no damage at all. It definitely doesn't make it. It definitely doesn't make it sink like the Titanic did or supposedly did.
So, have you watched the new Titanic special?
I don't think so. Is that the one with the?
The hologram?
I've got no signal. No, I haven't seen that yet, but I will. In fact, I'm gonna write a note right now to check that
Listen,
out.
um, I, they explained to you about how the iceberg sunk the boat, and it's absolutely crazy because now, Bruce, they have a 3D hologram, and it's like you're walking right next to the Titanic, and it's an actual size of the Titanic.
Oh, wow.
in the warehouse. So like what the boat broke apart and it was like 200 yards away or whatever. They
Yeah, yeah.
literally have to walk 200 yards in the warehouse to go get to the other part of the Titanic.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. So in doing this research, I found that also there's another little like side quest to this conspiracy where an iceberg didn't sink the Titanic. A solar flare caused the Titanic to sink. Because there's been a study recently that's discovered that in the northern hemisphere was experiencing a moderate to severe magnetic storm on the night of the ship's collision. Similar solar flares are known to cause power outages here on Earth and could have affected the ship's radar and radio rescue signals. So, if the solar flare hit Earth at just the right time and just the right place, they would have been flying blind. They wouldn't even have seen the iceberg. And it would have affected their radio rescue signals getting out. So not necessarily that a solar flare made it or caused it to sink, but technically a solar flare hit the Earth at just the right time that knocked out their radar signals and stuff.
And then another thing on one of the websites showed it was pictures of the like where the front of the boat was. And if you actually look at the pictures, the Titanic and the Olympic were actually very noticeably different. I don't know. Yeah, there's no way. I can't do it. But yeah, they're like noticeably different in the picture.
Right.
So do you think it was the Titanic that actually sunk?
Man, I'm still hung up on the Olympic and how similar they were, like down to the same color paint and down to the same chandeliers and stuff. Like, why would you make two ships that were exactly the same and then have one sink? Also another added conspiracy is there was a lot of bankers that were very rich individuals that were on that that boat.
Yeah, so that's the second part of the theory, and it's J.P. Morgan.
Yeah.
Who said he was sick and pulled himself off of last second. He even had a custom bathtub made for the boat.
Oh, yeah, specifically for his cabin.
And still left. And then was seen walking the streets perfectly fine. The biggest one I thought was pretty cool was he was friends with Hershey. And it was crazy how he also didn't get on the boat.
Yeah, there were several people that at the last minute just came down with quote unquote illness mysteriously. And then after the boat took off, they were perfectly fine, walking around like nothing had ever happened.
And the three powerful opponents was John Jacob, Astor, Isidore Stratus, and Benjamin Guggenheim. They were all on the boat. They all died.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'm gonna, just for me personally, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I believe the hoax.
Yeah, no, I,
I
I
believe we're being
100% believe it. But I think it was due to the fact of the insurance
Yeah, that's another thing.
not being able to pay for the repairs and just send it out on voyage. Because then if it sunk at sea, then they would just
Oh
get
yeah, they get
all the insurance money for it and they don't have to pay anything.
right. And if you buy into it, not only do you get the insurance money from your boat, you also get rid of a lot of your competition.
And we all know that there was plenty of room on that wood.
Yes, I was just about to say that there was enough room on that door that they both could have survived. Jack would have been alive.
Uh,
Just goes to show you that Rose lied. She said she'd never let go, but she did.
she pushed his ass right in.
Oh, these are fun. All right,
All right,
Sam. I appreciate you sticking around, man. It's been fun. So, what's the next conspiracy?
I got a little small one. The immortal actors.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could show you some pictures. Um, of I don't know. Have you looked at any of them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
Like Keanu Reeves.
yeah, looking like Monet.
Yeah.
I mean, identical, dude. Like it is scary identical. And then John Travolta looking like that war person from the Cage eBay affair. A
Yeah.
150-year-old photo of a man who looked a lot like John Travolta.
Right.
He's identical.
Did you see the Paul Revere and Jack Black?
No.
Yeah, dude. They look pretty identical.
Oh, I just seen it. Holy crap.
And I don't know if that's because that's just a painting. But I mean, back then, those dudes in paintings, man, they were almost better than a 1080p picture. You know what I'm saying?
If you think about it, Jack Black's not a very good actor, so why would he?
But to believe in that, either you believe that they're immortals or reincarnation.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could believe in one or the other. I agree. Um, but if they're immortal, like, give me some of the juice. If you know what I mean.
I wonder how much money you got to have. Oh, did you see the Conan O'Brien one?
No. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Oh, I can send it to you if you want.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Oh my gosh. Dude, yeah, that's holy crap. Marshal Harvey Twitchell, a Union soldier.
wonder how much money you gotta have. Oh, did you see the Conan O'Brien one?
Queen Latifah and Zora Neale. That's wild. Dude, I wish I wasn't all glitched out. I wish I could see my face.
Like dude, so many of them, man. Like you just can't be like, yeah, no, they don't even look alike. No, they're fucking almost identical.
Oh yeah, dude. That's crazy. All right. Let's see here. Are you still there? Yeah, you're still there.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Sorry, as long as you can still hear me, that I'm still here. So have you heard about the Black Knight satellite?
Heard of it? Yes. Have I looked about it? No.
So I watched a bunch of documentaries and stuff about UFOs and different things like that. Supposedly, the Black Knight satellite is an alien observational satellite that is in orbit with Earth, and it is basically just kind of keeping track of us and like transmitting back signal and stuff to another to some galaxy far, far away. NASA experts at NASA just claim that it's just space junk. But it doesn't look like space junk.
Right, but how does anybody know
right
sending signal?
Well, so what one of the theories claims is that Nikola Tesla, when he built those antennas, those big antennas, he was actually receiving the signal from the Black Knight satellite. And it's called the Black Knight because it's black and it's I don't know any other reason why it would be called the Black Knight satellite, but well, there could be that. The Black Knight never showed his face. So you've never seen it. So that could be it. But yeah, the theory goes that the signal that supposedly Nikola Tesla was picking up from outer space was from the Black Knight satellite transmitting information back to I guess its place of origin.
It says it's 1 million years old.
Yeah. Supposedly it's 1 million years old. It's one of the first things that people saw with their telescopes and whatnot. And I don't know how 100% true it is because I haven't actually looked at these documents, but supposedly, even Aristotle, the father of one of the fathers of cosmology.
Oh, I've seen the pictures of this thing before.
Yeah, it looks like a little butterfly cocoon.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything that we've ever sent out.
Right.
Like nothing. Like we've sent out 1 million different things, and nothing we've ever sent out looks anything like that.
Yeah, and NASA just claims they insist it's just space junk. You know, my whole thing is like, if it's just space junk, let's slow this thing down and let's grab it and let's get some footage on it and let's cut it open and see what's inside of it. If it's just space junk, then there shouldn't be anything stopping us from doing that. But if it's something more, why would we just, try to dismiss the conspiracy theories by saying, "Oh, it's just space junk." Well, we've been sending up stuff up into space since like the mid '60s. Um, why is it that every time we see footage of space, we don't ever see any space junk that's supposedly orbiting Earth?
Ever. You never see space junk
Uh,
from
you remember
pictures.
you remember the movie Wall-E?
Yeah.
That's the only time I've ever seen space junk orbiting Earth, and that was on a computer-generated cartoon.
Hmm.
Something seems fishy.
Hey, so I got a quick one to add to the Titanic.
Oh, yeah?
If you didn't know about it. The cursed mummy theory.
Ah.
Did you read about that one?
I've read about the mummy's curse, but not the connection with the.
Yeah, so the theory claims a cursed mummy on board the Titanic caused the disaster. However, the cargo manifest does not list a mummy and often linked to the myth that it's still at the British Museum.
Wow.
But
Was
their
there?
theory, if it was on the different ship, then who knows if the cargo, if everything was accounted for.
Right, right. Well, was there? I wonder if there was anybody. I wonder if there was anybody that was on the Titanic that was involved with, Egyptian excavation or stuff like that.
Ooh, that's a good question. Hmm.
While there's no evidence of a professional Egyptologist or archaeologist specifically known for their work in the field traveling on the Titanic, there were passengers with connections to Egypt. Margaret Brown, or Molly Brown, a notable survivor of the Titanic, had traveled to Egypt before her voyage and acquired Egyptian artifacts there, which appear on her insurance claim after the sinking. These were likely souvenirs rather than items for professional study or collection. Hamad Hassab, an Egyptian passenger who survived the sinking, he was invited by Henry and Mira Harper, whom he hosted in Cairo. And now I'm reading about the mummy's curse myth. There was an Egyptian cursed mummy or mummy board, which is a decorative coffin lid, supposedly was aboard the Titanic and responsible for its demise. The unlucky mummy in question is a mummy board dating back to the late period of ancient Egypt, housed in the British Museum. Yep, and it was never aboard the Titanic. Interesting.
All right. So did the one that I have to go about next is did the world end in 1999? Have you heard this one?
Just very, very little snippets, like kind of like the Y2K kind of thing,
Yes,
like
but
the ancient, like the reset or start over or stop. I like I said, I just a cursory knowledge of it.
all right. So people thinking the world ended in 1999. All right. The reason being is from the year 2000 on, Bruce, what has changed? Significant change that you've seen, that you can tell from decade to decade, things have changed.
Man, a lot of different things. I don't want to.
Like technology wise, you see improvements and advancements, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
huge significant change. So example, they said the 60s. 60s was psychedelic drugs and hippies and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And then there was the mass change to the 70s.
With
Punk
disco.
bands, disco, and like being against authority was cool at that time, right?
Yeah.
And then the 80s, you had the loud fashion, the love for everything big and bold, right?
Yeah.
Then you had the 90s, which was the start of the digital age and hip hop and baggy clothes. So you think about those decades, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, and you take them and you put them now, what has changed?
Well, everything is coming back around.
That is the point. Everything is rinse and repeat. Think about all the movies that you watch. Everything you've watched is either a remake or there's a storyline that has already been used in that.
Yeah, there's nothing new anymore.
No, that's what they're saying. Like the world ended in 1999. Think about, and this goes into play in the Mandela effect. Think about how many of the Mandela effects were from like 2000 before. Like, the Fruit of the Loom and all the movies from
The Berenstain
80s
Bears.
and 90s. Yes. So everything that we know from those time frames has what's changed. Like technology has changed, but it hasn't advanced enough to where you're like, holy shit, this is way different.
Yeah, this is the future.
Yeah. So that's where they're saying everything that we're going through now is just one cycle after another.
Wow. That just blew my mind.
And I was sitting there with Brittany in the living room, and he was going through all this stuff, and I was like, holy shit. You're right. Like I'm thinking about everything that I've lived from 2000 to now, and there has been nothing that I have like, this is a huge change.
Right. Yeah. There's it seems like after 99, everything just kind of froze.
Now, some people say it's due to technology. People aren't going outside as much, so they're not making more memories. Everything's based around technology. And when technology can't advance, then you feel like there's nothing that's advancing. But like the guy, he also threw the list of how many remake movies have they done, Bruce?
Oh, dude, too many to count.
Right. All the movies from the 90s and the 80s, and they're still doing it. They're just releasing Spaceballs 2. All right.
Yeah.
That's that's going to be a new movie, but
And
it's
last
still
year
Spaceballs,
last year they did Beetlejuice and the
Right.
Flash movie with Michael Keaton Batman.
and now they're also doing the Naked Gun.
Oh yeah, with Liam Neeson.
Nothing new, Bruce.
Right.
Nothing new.
Wow. That's crazy. But that leads me into not trying to change the subject because this is very intriguing, but that leads me into this conspiracy about all of us living in the Matrix. uh, the theory is supported by, all kinds of crazy coincidences and happenings that occur during the glitch in the Matrix. People notice the background characters, in video games, they have, it's easier to make 100 people with red shirts and blue baseball caps. Than it is to make 100 individual characters and write code for all of them. So if you catch a news block where it's showing a whole bunch of people, or there's a crowd of people, if you pause, you can see background characters that are all exactly the same.
Right. And I'm not trying to interrupt you, but if you
No,
think
no.
about that, based off of what I said, nothing's changed. You're
Right.
talking about, you look in the background, you're like, yeah, that person looks the same. That person looks the same. And then you can go back for a few years and you're like, oh shit, that person looks the same. The programming, if you say the Matrix,
Right.
it's so
the programming
basic.
just halted.
Throw a code out there and you're like, fucking rinse and repeat. And then how do you change it up? Well,
Right.
let's go back to reuse this code from 10 years ago. And now everybody's got green shirts.
Right. Yeah. So and it's crazy because there's guys, there's legit scientists, like Michio Kaku. Is that how you say his name?
Don't get me to lying.
Oh, I don't know how to say his name. There's a lot of mainstream scientists that are starting to look at this theory about all of us living in a simulation and all of us being stuck in a quote unquote matrix.
So one of the conspiracy theories that plays off of what I was talking about and going into yours was that in 1999, the world did collapse. And the only way that they could do, or thing that they could do, would be to put us in a simulator because everything legitimately looks like it did in the Matrix.
Right. And maybe that was their way of telling us all without actually coming out and telling us all.
Yeah, with these little subtle hints. And then now everybody's starting to catch on. But does anybody really want to think it's true?
Well, I mean, they say that our senses build our surroundings, so to speak. You and me talking, we're not. If you believe in a soul, we're just driving a meat suit. You know what I'm saying? Like our electric impulses that make me and you. We're basically just inhabiting a body, a vessel, so to speak. And would we want to see what the real world is like? Are we trapped in the Matrix, or are we willing participants in the Matrix? Because reality would be far worse. Can you imagine? It's 2025 right now, so it's basically 27 years, 26 years from 99.
Right.
Can you imagine what if the world actually ended in 1999 and we were all put inside of a matrix? Can you imagine what the world looks like now outside of the matrix? Would it be all crazy dystopian like in the movie The Matrix?
I believe. Let's go. I mean, we'll just finish up the show talking about this. I think it would be without pollution, without humans. I think it would be full of vegetation and life.
Well, yeah, in 25, 26, 27 years, like the earth would probably have an opportunity to take a breath and rejuvenate.
But when do we go out and try again?
Well, maybe that's the failsafe. Maybe that's what's keeping us here. We have to figure out that, you know, that's the life journey, so to speak. You know, that's the lesson. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, maybe the journey is getting to leave the matrix. You know, once we've done everything that we can do in the matrix, it's like levels. You know, you're playing a video game and you get to the last level, and then you turn the system off and you go outside and touch grass.
So what you're saying is like our death will be our release.
I mean, possibly. You know, if we're gonna get into the philosophical intricacies of it, maybe.
Maybe we're here. We must.
Yeah, no, this is it. Maybe our maybe our deaths is the game getting shut off and us going, you know, into actual reality.
But like, have you ever seen anything to where you were like, holy shit, that's weird? And I had my first real experience the other day. We were sitting in the office at work. I was looking outside at the cameras. In front of the store, 4 white vehicles, all the same. Exactly the same make, model, 4 of them. Doof, 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 doof. And I'm like, what the fuck are the odds?
Yeah, well, how does that happen? I see it every now and then, and it's just, I guess it's like a weird, you know, you're driving down the interstate and you see like you said, the cars, you see the same car, same make, same model, same color. They're driving so fast, so you don't know if it's the exact same driver, but in the back of your head, you're like, didn't I just see that car like 3 cars ago? You know, I guess that could be considered like one of those, not really a Mandela effect, but like one of those kind of glitches in the Matrix where in your head you're like, is this deja vu? Am I going through this again?
So let's go back. So the Mandela effect, what we call the Mandela effect, would be a glitch in the Matrix.
Right.
From what we remembered to the codes that they wrote wrong.
To their patch to fix it.
Right. And they're like, oh, yeah, it was never that way. Bullshit. Like,
you're just crazy.
You tell me that what's-his-face never delivered those checks from Publishers Clearinghouse. You are full of shit. Ed McMahon, right. You are a liar.
McMahon, yeah.
Like, my parents used to fill out the damn packet that came to the house.
Oh, dude, my grandma did too. But yeah, I'm at 5% on my phone that's got my hotspot on. So if I lose signal, I will try to bounce back.
We can wrap this up if you want.
Okay. Hey man,
I just want to ask you a question though before we go.
Yeah.
If you think we're in the Matrix, what does that do for your psyche? Does it change anything? Like, are you just like, I'm cool because of what I have?
Well, I mean, it obviously, like, it me being a Christian, it goes back to to heaven and whatnot. Like, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel is my reward in the afterlife. So, like, you know, don't get me wrong. If I wake up, you know, after I die and I'm sitting here in like some kind of hospital room or some computer chair, I'm gonna be pissed. But what can I do about it? So I guess, you know, it's like that whole like YOLO thing. You only live once. Like, try to live the best life you can live. You know, try to level up the best way you can while you're here. In video game terms.
Yeah. Like after like I watched that video today, like I don't know what to think. Like I legitimately put a lot of thought into it. And that goes back to, you know, conspiracy stuff. But for anybody who goes back and watches the podcast, really think about what has changed in your life that has been so significant. Like I said, from the 60s, the 70s to 80s and 90s, every damn decade was so different. And then I can sit here in 10 years and be like, I've not seen anything change. Maybe it's not the Matrix. Maybe that we're just so blind as a society now that we forgot what living is. You know, we don't go out with our families as much because we're so in tune to electronics that we're not out making the memories like they did in the 60s, 70s, and 80s when they were actually people being people and not just subjected to shit that we have in our hands.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm there. All right. I was just going to keep going off of my little tyrant, but
Oh, my signal is such crap.
all right. Well, thank you for everybody who tuned in and watched. People who are going to go back and rewatch. If you're not into conspiracy theories, cool, but don't be afraid to go and check some out because we're not told the truth all the time. Like, I don't care what you think. Like, there's bullshit out there, and you don't have to believe it all, but don't be close to things that we don't know.
Hey, if you guys can hear my voice, I love you and thank you for coming on and listen to us talk. I really appreciate it.
And you'll see both of us again in 1 year together. Good night, everyone.